Hello and welcome to another Bushwhacker review. Today we are going to be taking a look at some more 1/64 scale diecast, but more importantly, a different line of 1/64 scale diecast, and what I consider the best 1/64 scale NASCAR diecast we have ever gotten at a retail store. What line is this exactly? That would be the Stock Car Legends line from the folks over at Johnny Lightning. Here's some packaging if you want to see some packaging. I only have one sealed, but said these were just easy to find in a retail store in the late 90s. You could just walk in any of your stores, buy these up. We'll get to why I think they're the best later, but has nice artwork. You know, got a picture of the Pepsi Challenger getting service, which they did actually release, as you can see back there. I do have the full set here, so we'll be taking a look at the full set. Back of the packaging has some different cars in the set. Also has a little bit of a bio. But why don't we just hop right into the cars themselves. Each of these cars does come with a little trading card of the car itself. What a novel idea that is, actually using the picture of the car to advertise your diecast. It's almost like you're not afraid to show that something is accurate or something is accurate or whatever it is. It's kind of funny how we never get anything advertised with the car anymore. It's like they just know that half the time it's not accurate, so they don't want to waste their time. But there you can see that each does come with a card. So why don't we just hop right into this. This is Mario Andretti's 1967 Burnell Motor Company Ford Fairlane. All these have opening hoods, metal bodies, metal bases, and rubber tires, which is one of the reasons I consider them one of the best 1/64 scale diecasts we've ever gotten at retail. What's funny is these aren't actually licensed by NASCAR in the least. These are licensed by the drivers according to the back of the box, but these have no NASCAR logos on them. It's just all the cars, their sponsors, and some of the contingencies and stuff. So they put a nice engine detail too. You know, it has the metallic blue paint for most of the engine, but then has some of the silver highlights in there too. It does have Firestone tires, which is a nice touch. Don't really see any other types of tires on any NASCAR diecast at all anymore. Hell, they even changed it to Goodyear if it didn't run with Goodyear. Sometimes. But just these are just fantastic. I mean, look at all the logos. All the logos are pretty crisp, clean. All the contingencies, you can read every contingency. They're all nice and bright and clean, and it's just fantastic. If it'll focus. The color on this car is beautiful too. Just the metallic deep blue mixed with the metallic gold. Just looks fantastic. How many times can I say fantastic? But like I said, these are definitely worth your time. As you can see, they released a ton of them. I mean, who doesn't like some nice classic diecast and some nice classic legends of our sport? If this look looks familiar to you, but you don't really pay attention to old NASCAR or something, this is probably because in the original Cars movie, Mario Andretti made a cameo appearance, and his look in that cameo appearance was kind of based on this paint scheme in this car. One of his NASCARs, so that'll be why it looks familiar. Next up we have David Pearson's 1967 Holman and Moody Ford Fairlane, which you can see right there. And man, is this a beautiful, beautiful car. A deep metallic candy apple red with a bright metallic gold. Just fantastic. David Pearson, Holman Moody, competition proven. Once again, it's Firestone tires. Well, it's the same mold, so I don't know. But just, I would love a 1/24 scale of this car. University Racing, if you're watching this for some reason, you need to make one of these cars at some point. I would buy this thing in a heartbeat. This is just a beautiful car, and with beautiful colors. A couple of these you've probably seen in my videos before, some of these Johnny Lightning cars, because I did have used these in a couple of my University Racing videos, since University Racing does not make 1/64 scale diecasts. Some of these are the best way to get a 1/64 scale diecast to go with some of the classic stuff. But I would buy this one in a heartbeat if they ever made it, because I just love this car. This is just awesome colors. Next up we have Buddy Baker's 1969 Cotton Owens Dodge Charger Daytona, which is actually different from the card. You see that on the card it's Jack Spillers or Spliers Dodge, where this one has Metrolina Dodge. I mean, I'm sure it ran with both, so it doesn't bother me, but at the same time, it's why would you pick one of the wrong pictures? Because you would have had to have some sort of a picture of this car in order to actually make it, so I don't know. Put open on this one, it does, but it doesn't want to open it. And after that little tide incident, I'm never going to open a hood that doesn't want to open again. This is a more matte base, where these ones had a more shiny base. But just one of the most iconic race cars, NASCAR cars ever to be made. There's still rumors that University Racing's next cars, the reason they're taking so long to make anything else is they're making a new winged body mold. Man, I hope they are. I would buy that thing in a heartbeat. I hope they choose something that's a little more fun. Like I said, they did just make this car, or like this owner's car. It was just the Charger 500 though. But this car's just kind of bright, but it's kind of really ugly. Like dark burnt red, matte black, neon orange numbers with a yellow splitter, or spoiler, I mean. This is not exactly the most good looking paint scheme. Definitely iconic and definitely, you know, different. We also got Metrolina Dodge, Charger Daytona, Charlotte, North Carolina, Dodge 2.6s, all that good stuff. All of these do pretty much have the printing on the hood with the cubic inches. I feel like it's worth pointing out that, look at that. It's got a shiny paint body and a matte black roof. So you're telling me that Johnny Lightning in the late 90s could do it, but Lionel can't do it on a 1/24 scale now with Kurt Busch's Daytona 500 win. Whatever. Almost knocked the light over. Next up we have David Pearson's 1969 Holman and Moody Ford Talladega. What's funny, it calls it like a Ford Torino Talladega, but yet it's a Torino Cobra. Weren't those two different cars, or was that just the engine in them? I don't remember the whole story on that, but... Here we have the car itself. Nice metallic blue and gold. University Racing did produce a version of this car in 1/24 scale. I do have it, and I believe I've reviewed it. If this car is also looking familiar to you, but you're not really sure why, because you don't pay attention to old stuff again, that would be probably because of this. David Pearson's throwback was used for Ricky Stenhouse in 2015 at Darlington. I've reviewed this 1/24 of this car too, so if you're a fan of this painting, you can check that out. This is honestly the best way to get a 1/64 scale diecast. If you're, if you want to get the original and the throwback to have them next to each other or whatever, this is probably your best chance for this car. Put open easy on this one? Yes, it does. Though it does want to stay open, but see engine detail again. This one has a shiny base again. Goodyear tires, Torino Cobra, East Tennessee Motor Company. They just did a fantastic job on the metallic paint on these things. In person, they are just really nice, shiny, sparkly, all that good stuff. Next up, we have Leroy Yarborough's 1969 Jim Robbins Torino Talladega. This one actually says Torino Talladega on it, not Cobra. But there you can see the car next to the picture if you want to see that. Now, if this car looks familiar, this was used as a throwback last year in 2016. It was used by Premium Motorsports on their 98 car, which was kind of a clever idea to use a plain white car, since it's half the reason their cars always are just plain white or plain black. They didn't produce it or anything, so you can't get the throwback, but if this looks familiar, that's where you've seen it from. Hood open on this one, yes it does. Got Ford Torino Talladega Jim Robbins Special. Like I said, look at just how clean that is. Like, you could just read that. It's kind of hard to read, like, really tiny text on cars anymore, but back then you could do it very well. Just fantastic. Next up, we have Pete Hamilton's 1977 Up Plymouth Superbird for Richard Petty Motorsports. Might as well leave this out so I can show a picture of it next to the car itself. Seems like Plymouth is larger than it should be, but... Now, if this looks familiar, just Darlington Throwback Race. Well, I'm recording this like the week after the Darlington Throwback Race this year, 2017. And the 40-car Dodge Challenger in the Xfinity Series actually did run this as a throwback. They did actually add the little red triangle thing, so that was nice. Can never go wrong with a nice winged Petty blue car. Got Plymouth, 7-Up, the Uncola, Goodyear. There's a perfect example of how clean these decals are. Said, you can read all of them. Wicks, Regal Ride, Union 76, Preston, Champion, Zoom, Goodyear, Perfect Circle, so on and so forth. Open easy on this one. No, it does not. I'll say these seem to be up a little too high. Like, it seems like most of these wing cars, the like front end is up farther than it should be, where the back end is kind of slammed down. Which that might be accurate, I'm not quite sure. But Next up we have Richard Brooks 1970 Best Line Products Plymouth Superbird. Which, there you can see that. Interesting enough, they never painted the inside of most of these wings. Like, see, the wings are just a solid color, but, like, on that one, you see the inside of the wing is red. That one, the inside of the wing is red. This one, the inside of the wing is white. Kind of a shame, but I'm not going to complain about that. They got the outside wing color right, so who cares? Richard Brooks, number 32, Best Line Products, Plymouth, Goodyear, City Glass. All that good stuff. Hood open on this one. No, it does not. It does have blue rims. I've always liked colored rims over, like, blacker rims or whatever, because some people are like, oh, it doesn't look official. It makes it look like a Hot Wheel car. It's like, yeah, but why would you want all the cars to look black wheels, just generic? I think colored rims bring out so many different cars. I love how the Penske cars do it. A lot of the throwbacks have done it. It looks so much better. This is definitely nothing really special, you know, a kind of off-white car with neon orange and some blue rims. Not really anything incredible on the paint scheme department, but definitely just kind of random and obscure enough that it's kind of cool to get a diecast of. Next up we have Bobby Isaac's 1970, number 71, K&K Insurance Dodge Charger Daytona, that you can see right there. Now this is probably one of the most iconic winged cars. The bright red and white Bobby Isaac cars. Got Dodge Daytona, K&K Insurance, 71. You can see all the contingencies and all that. Goodyear tires. University Racing Digits produced this car also in the Dodge Charger Daytona version. Or not Daytona, I mean the Dodge Charger 500 version. So, you can get a version of this car. I hope they release the wing car at some point, because I think the wing car is more iconic than the 500, but I'm pretty sure that goes for any car that ran on both. Very, very nice. Next up, we have Pete Hamilton's 1971 American Brake Block Plymouth Satellite. The rear looks like it's a deeper metallic, but this car actually is metallic, but we'll get to that later. As you can see, if I can catch that right, the car is a metallic blue. So it's not terribly off, but it does look like it is a darker blue in that picture. Put open on this one easily. No, it does not. See, you got American Brake Block Plymouth, or Blake Bloke, Brake Block. Whatever. Kind of a lesser known Pete Hamilton car. What's kind of clever that this one, they basically just put two numbers on the roof to kind of make an outline or like a border. It was literally just put a white number and then put a yellow number on. Wasn't like an actual border or the same number or anything. They just literally placed one number upon the other one, if I remember correctly. This thing actually has red, like, tail lights almost. So that's kind of cool. Definitely not a very well-known Pete Hamilton car. At least I don't think it is. I didn't know about it until I got this diecast. Next up, we've got Donnie Allison's 1971 Purolator Mercury Cyclone for the famed Wood Brothers. This one is quite different from the picture. Doesn't have red rims. Purolator logo looks different in a different color. The Mercury logo looks different. The 21 looks different. So, not sure why that is. The 21 definitely does look off. I don't know if that's because maybe they didn't get licensing from Wood Brothers. I don't know. But it opens nicely on this one. I believe this is the only way in this... the only one that got produced on this mold, if I'm not mistaken. At least it looks like it is. Can never go wrong with the famed Wood Brothers colors, the white with the red. The numbers are a metallic gold. Purolator Mercury. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is just like maybe they had to change it because they didn't get licensing right or whatever, because this definitely does look different. Here it is next to, you know, one of the kind of modern Ryan Blaney Wood Brothers cars. You can see the 21 font is different and all that. So, I don't know if somebody could tell me why that's like that. I would love to know, but I don't know. Next up, we've got Fred Lorenzen's 1971 STP Plymouth Satellite. Whoops. Just dropping cars all over the place. It's funny this guy took the picture of him to the right of him when he's looking over here. The picture guy, did I just say that? Photographer. I have want one of these as a throwback some year. Like, yeah, the Richard Petty STP 43 cars are iconic, and of course they're going to use them as throwbacks, but, like, I would love just STP to once just do a non-Petty 43 car. Just do one of their random other STP cars. STP oil treatment got a Valvoline logo. Wouldn't those be competitors? Or I guess one's oil treatment? I don't know. The bright white rims look fantastic on this car. Put open on this one. No, it does not. Fantastic. Next up, we've got Marty Robbins' 1973 Dodge Charger, which you can see right there. Looks like the green should go up around the top a little more, or, you know, just overall, but whatever. Now, the decaling work on this one isn't really as good as most of these. You can see there's a lot of little, like, flakes and chips and such, and, like, you know, around the door handle, the 42 doesn't look very good, so a little bit disappointing. Take a look under the hood. Has the nice purple color. Can never go wrong with the iconic Marty Robbins colors, though I do prefer the pink and yellow one as opposed to this, like, purple and green one. Action did produce a 124 scale of the pink one, which I do have. I don't think they ever produced a 164 of it, though. Marty Robbins is certainly underrated or, like, forgotten about driver that really shouldn't be. He was kind of a famous person becoming a driver. Next up, we got Neil Bonnett's 1977 Jim Stacy Racing Dodge Charger. Should put it this way, I guess. Seems like the nose should be longer on these bodies, but, whatever. This car is white with some neon orange. Got some nice metallic, like, bronze rims. Jim Stacy Racing Team got that VIP thing again, like the Bobby Isaac had. This sits on like a spring. See the engine detail if you want to see that. Like I said, I've never liked white cars. Like, there are very few times where I'm like, awesome white car. I like them. I mean, if they have other colors, it works. But, like, plain white cars I've just never really liked. I don't mind them as much on old, like, classics like this stuff. You know, like this one, that one, that one. But in general, I'm just not a fan of these. Especially if people do throwbacks to them. It's like, wow, you chose a throwback to a plain white car. Yay. Like, that was kind of what happened with that. But that was at least a throwback, so whatever. Next up, we have Cale Yarborough's 1978 First National Cities Travelers Checks Oldsmobile Cutlass. What you can see right there. Denny Hamlin sort of did a throwback to this car his first year in the Darlington throwback stuff, but he changed it into Sports Clips colors, so it looks stupid as hell. I don't remember if this was the exact paint scheme he chose, but it was one of these that was in no way Sports Clips colors, but he just made it. This is kind of one of the iconic Cale Yarborough cars, the bright white with the bright orange, the red and blue, just a very colorful car. Kind of getting the more modern NASCAR now, but, you know, still a nice classic. I don't know if there's ever actually a 124 scale of this anywhere. I feel like there might be, but I'm not sure. Next up, we have A.J. Foyt's 1979 Valvoline Oldsmobile Cutlass. What you can see right there. This one was used as a throwback in 2015 with Justin Allgaier. And then, for some reason, one of the Xfinity cars did it last year, but it literally had nothing to make it known. Like, it was like, this car is literally a bright orange 51 car. So what did they choose? It was like a 92 car in just sort of the red. And it's like, wow, that doesn't make me think of that car at all. If you want a comparison, here it is next to a NASCAR Classics release of a similar car. Not exactly the same car, but you can just kind of see a little bit of a size difference there and some of the color differences and whatever. It's basically around the same era of car. In case anyone wanted to see that. Next up, we have Darrell Waltrip's 1979 Gatorade Pontiac Grand Prix, which is a front photo, which probably isn't the best choice of photo to show off the car, but whatever. And man, is this an iconic car. The bright white with the bright green of Gatorade. The, you know, Junior Johnson cars. Or is this Junior Johnson or is this D-Guard? D-Guard, yeah. I guess that just answered my own question. Just a beautiful, beautiful car. I'm surprised nobody's done a throwback to this yet. Doesn't, like, Gatorade sort of sponsor Jimmy Johnson? Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Just a beautiful car, and I'm glad to get a 164 scale diecast. This is one that I definitely want to get a 124 of at some point, because Action did make them. Next up, we have Benny Parsons 1980 Mealing Performance Parts Chevy Monte Carlo, which you can see right there. This one has a very nice metallic blue, kind of a light metallic blue. Mealing, Moroso, crane arms, just again, even up through this, still nice clean logos. Though it has a little bit of a split through it, but could open on this one, yes it does. Almost fell out of this one, it looked like. Shiny base. Very, very nice. Next up we have Jeff Bodine's 1982 Spectrum Furniture Pontiac Grand Prix. Once again, kind of a side photo, but whatever. Not a very good photo to show off the car once again, but what are you going to do? Very interesting or different looking car. Got the red, white, and blue colors, but like a bunch of arrows, a bunch of colors that just end and stuff, and kind of graphical if you want to say that for a word. I guess this would be graphical back then. At least it's kind of an obscure car. I don't think many people would recognize this car. Race Cales by Motorsports Designs USA. They didn't even call them decals back then. They had to call them race cales. Very, very nice. Next up, we have Darrell Waltrip's 1983 Pepsi Challenger Monte Carlo. Or Monte. Why am I saying Monte? I don't even know if it's technically right. It's funny, they choose a picture of a car that doesn't actually say Challenger on the hood. So, that's interesting. Another very iconic looking car. Now, if this looks familiar, Jeff Gordon back in 2009 at Talladega did a throwback to this car. And got wrecked out in like the first 10 laps, but it was nevertheless a throwback. Whoops. I'm surprised Pepsi hasn't popped in to make some old throwbacks in the Darlington Throwback Weekend yet. I mean, they basically sponsor Hendrick, so who knows? I would love for Chase Elliott to run something like this, or I don't know, but just a cool car. I just would love some old Pepsi cars in general. Next up, we have Buddy Baker's 1984 Valvoline Ford Thunderbird. Once again, another Wood Brothers car, if I'm not mistaken. But I might be mistaken. Once again, doesn't really have the number font, so I'm not entirely sure. Or is this in the era when they lost the 21, or they stopped using the 21 when they used the 7-Eleven car? Not entirely sure. Got Valvoline, Buddy Baker. I think this does kind of look weird, the way the blue just kind of ends at the contingencies, and this one just kind of ends at the number. Was it like that in the picture? Can't tell. Side view. I mean, this is sort of, kind of what Dale Jr. ran as his throwback. It wasn't exactly this car, but it was just kind of the overall colors of these cars back in the day. So, that's worth pointing out. Down to the final two. First up, we have Cale Yarborough's 1984 Hardee's Monte Carlo. Another very iconic look for a car. The orange and white Hardee's colors are pretty iconic and legendary for many NASCAR fans. This was used twice as a throwback this year in 2017. There was a 28 car in the Xfinity Series that actually did a nice throwback to it, and then Elliott Sadler's like, yeah, I want to put in armor colors for some reason. Yeah! If the paint scheme does not work with your sponsor colors, then choose a different paint scheme. Hate that, where people are just like, oh, well, who cares? The sponsor pays the money, so of course they can get the color. But it's like, yeah, then don't choose that car. It's like, oh, wow, a blue and white car. That would be really hard to find in the history of NASCAR. Hell, you could have to choose that 27 car, but whatever. Very nice. And last but not least, we have Rusty Wallace's 1984 Gatorade Pontiac Grand Prix. A lot of people probably forget that somebody else other than Darrell Waltrip raced this car. Good old Rusty Wallace raced it too. So yeah, there are two different Gatorade cars for 2 different years in this line. So, you know, if you're collecting this line, be wary of that. Don't just think, oh, I have the Gatorade car, and then you're going to realize you're missing one down the road. The Rusty Allison isn't too hard to get, but whatever. Just fantastic. If you want some more size comparisons, I don't know. What do we got here? Here's a Hot Wheels monster truck. I don't know. Here's a, you know, one of the old RCCA Ford Galaxies. Or is this a, yeah, I guess Galaxy, or what do they call them? Whatever, but basically the same body. Here's an old Racing Champions Pennzoil car. I don't know. If you're really into size comparisons, here's a Hot Wheels 4GT. Matchbox Lamborghini, but whatever. Like I said, if you want this line, some of them are hard to get, some of them are easy to get. You just kind of have to search for them. Like, it took me a while to actually complete the sets because some of them are kind of rare. Like, the Marty Andretti and this David Pearson are kind of rare. The Marty Robbins is kind of rare, but, you know, if you look hard enough, you'll find them. But I thought since I got the whole set, it'd be nice to do a video of it, because I'm sure some people have never heard of this line, and I really hope more people can learn about this line. Because it's definitely, like I said, I think it is the best 1/64 scale diecast we've ever gotten in retailing stores. I'm sure somebody will disagree with me on that, but, you know, RCCA Elite 1/64s don't count. I'll just say that now, but whatever. My name is Jim to say. This has been a review of the Johnny Lightning Stock Car Legends line. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.